evening, everybody. This is the CB Sportscast. I am here with my good friend Nicholas Ferrara, and tonight we are going to be talking about basketball. So just to get a little into detail as far as what I'm going to be doing here, so we're going to be talking mainly about sports all around on a weekly basis. It could be about basketball, it could be about baseball, football, hockey, but just for tonight, we're going to be talking about basketball. So some of the things that I'm going to be talking about tonight, it's going to be mainly about like predictions for this upcoming season because we're a few days away. The NBA season starts on October 24th, as 4 teams will be playing, including the reigning champions in the Denver Nuggets. So for this first idea that we're going to be talking about, it's going to be a segment on how teams are going to be standings-wise. But I put a little fun twist into it. So it's going to be called document, play-in, or takeoff. So basically, those 3 words mean basically for document, it's teams that are going to be in the 1-6 spot. And then play-in are going to be teams that are going to be in the 7-10 seed. And then takeoff are basically teams that are going to miss the playoffs. So Nicholas Ferrara, if you would like to do the introduction to see what teams I think and you think are going to make the playoffs. So go ahead, just name a team, and we'll answer it.
We're going right through them.
Yeah, we'll go right straight through them.
All right, let me
East
see.
and West.
See the West. Listen, my personal opinion. I'm a Grizzlies fan, and I think the Grizzlies. What were they last year?
They were actually
They were
the
2,
seed.
right?
They finished with a 51-31 record.
I think they're still gonna be 2, maybe 3.
So you were documenting them for the fact that they will be there.
Yep.
Okay. So so going further into that, actually, do you have where do you have the Denver Nuggets?
The Denver Nuggets 1.
Okay.
Do you have them as 1?
I actually do have them as a number 1 seed, which is obviously a document. So I'll do a little twist. What about the OKC Thunder?
The Thunder.
Do
Well,
you have them as a document, play-in, or takeoff?
I think they didn't make the playoffs last year, right?
They made the play-in, but they
made
lost
the play-in.
for the 8th
See, here's the
spot.
thing. Chet Holmgren, is this his official rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and personally, my rookie of the year, I think document 6.
So okay, so you think they'll make the 6th seed?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go with play-in, only because, in my opinion, there's a lot of teams that going into the season are gonna be fully healthy. It's the Warriors, the Clippers, the Lakers, even the Phoenix Suns. All those teams are now fully healthy, or even the Pelicans, as a matter of fact. So for teams that are going to be healthy, I think the Thunder are just going to be in the play-in. I mean, injuries happen in the NBA. So if injuries tend to happen to those teams I just said, then I can easily have them as a top 16. But for right now, I'm going to have them as a play-in.
All right, so where do you have the Lakers?
I have the Lakers actually in my top 3 for the Western Conference this year, only because they are probably the most complete team in the NBA. Listen, I'm a Warriors fan, and as much as I hate it for the fact that Christian Wood, who is 6'10", signed with the Lakers, even though for the fact that they already have size on the team, it just makes me so mad.
I love Christian Wood though.
I know I do like Christian Wood too. I mean, the guy put up like 20 and almost 10 like when he was with other teams. Yeah, he dipped a little bit when he went to Houston and Dallas, but he's going to dip a lot more if he goes to the Lakers. If he went to the Warriors, he would be averaging almost 18 points a game. He probably would be the 6th man of the year candidate.
Yeah, they do need someone like him. Well, isn't who did they say on the Warriors is like 7'1" now?
They're saying that Jonathan Kuminga supposedly
Kuminga
reached to about 7 feet. But I mean, the only way I'll know for a fact that he actually did reach 7 feet is I see on screen.
I don't think they're lying. They said he's like 7'1" now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but I do have the Lakers as a document team. I do have them finishing as my 3rd seed. So we're gonna get into a couple of the not so good teams. So what do you say about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
The Timberwolves. Who is that? Patrick Beverly's not on them anymore, is he?
No, he's in Philly.
He's in Philly.
So
who do they have? They
have Mike Conley. I mean, tell you the truth, I feel like they're really running the same team from last year. They just lost Patrick
Anthony
Beverley.
Edwards.
What?
Anthony Edwards is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Rudy Gobert.
And Karl Anthony.
He's still on there. The thing is, like, I love Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I don't know. I have them as like.
So do you have them are you documenting them?
Take off.
You're going to take them off? All right. Yeah, me too.
They're out.
Only because they are, in my opinion, they're probably one of the most dysfunctional teams because of what happened last season with Rudy Gobert and his production, and also Karl Anthony Towns. He dipped in his production last year also for the fact that he missed like 60-something games. But, I mean, listen, if things go as well as people think that it's going to be, they could be in the race for the top 6. I mean, Edward averages MVP-type numbers and everything, then it's it's going to be different. But if they dip in the standings and like at the trade deadline they're like 12 or 15 games back, I can possibly see Karl Anthony Towns being traded. More specifically, the New York Knicks. It's just an idea.
The thing is that the Knicks GMs suck. They
do suck.
They wouldn't get Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay, but if they do suck, then how did they? Yes, Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson's father, he did sign with the Knicks as a staff member, and they're saying that there was tampering.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was ridiculous. They gave him how much money? Like $200 million, something. Somewhere around there.
It was like 180 something.
Somewhere around.
But
there.
but listen, it was worth it. Think about it. They reached the second round for the first time since 2013. It was a great season for the Knicks, but I agree that this front office is not good.
Yeah.
So, but we're getting a little off topic. So we're going to continue with a couple more teams. So one team that a lot of people are going to like do what if scenarios would be the New Orleans Pelicans. I have them right now as a document team only because I think this is the year that Zion is going to play more than 65 games.
I think I agree with you with that.
If Zion play, I said this a couple of days ago. I said if Zion plays 65 to 75 games and he averages the numbers that he put up during the 2021 season when he was an All-Star, and the Pelicans finished top 4, I can definitely see him winning the MVP. I know it sounds crazy, but
that's a little bit steep.
It's a little steep, like I said, but I mean, the numbers you put up, like I think you put up like 27, 7, and like 5.
Yeah, he's a beast.
In like 61 games during their 2021 season.
He keeps getting injured.
Yeah, because the guy is fat. I mean, they said that he put on muscle, but I mean, when I saw him like on the court a couple days ago, when I saw that they were playing, he looked basically the same. Like it looked like he didn't even like lose any weight. He just put on, like he was very burly, but he put on muscle that I saw. It was just very.
I mean, yeah, he is very muscular, but he still weighs a lot, which is gonna screw you over. He's a freak athlete. He's jumping that much. He's gonna get injured when he's landing.
Well, obviously, yeah. So, but in addition to that, if he does get injured or if he plays about 55, 60 games, they're still a good team overall. I mean, they have Jose Alvarado, they have C.J. McCollum, they have Brandon Ingram, they have Jonas Valanciunas.
It's a well-rounded team.
They have Trey Murphy, and they have also what's his name? Who am I forgetting? Oh, Herbert Jones. But they actually do have some injuries right now going into the season. I believe it's Herbert Jones. I think they fractured his leg, so he's going to be out for like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. I mean, this is probably the biggest what-if team right now going into the season. Like, if Zion plays 65 or more games, they will be a top 5 at least. Or if he doesn't, they'll probably be back where they've been for the last couple of years. So another big player that is going into the season is Victor Wembanyama.
Oh boy, what do you have the Spurs?
I actually have the Spurs taking off, only because
really?
Yes, because the team itself, and I get it. Listen, everybody's saying that Wembanyama is going to have even a bigger legacy than LeBron. The only way I'll know that for a fact is if he plays 15 years and reaches the finals 10 times. He could put up Michael Jordan numbers in his first 10 years in the NBA and make the finals twice.
Well, let's look at this.
That's not LeBron standards or anything. And listen, this team alone is a carry type team. If Victor carries the team, hypothetically, yes, he could.
Well, what's their roster even looking like?
Kendall Johnson is their second best player. Trey Jones is going to
Jeremy Sochan?
Yeah, Jeremy Sochan is like, I don't know what he is. Supposedly he's supposed to be like a 3-and-D type player.
He's a forward. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a power forward.
He is a power forward. And then like they have Zach Collins and they have some other guys on the team. But this team's too young. I get it. Oklahoma City Thunder, their average.
The Grizzlies are young.
Yeah, but the average for the Thunder this coming season is like 23.
You know the average height for the Thunder? I think it's 6'9".
That's crazy. You're small. You're starting small forward is 6'5", while your point guard and your shooting guard are taller than you.
Who's their short? Their shortest is 6'3", I think.
Yeah, it's Lou Dort.
Yeah, Lou Dort is their shortest, and then they have a lineup. Chet. They have Poku.
Pakuseski.
Paku, yeah, however you say his name. They got all these
guy looks like
lanky
ass
Kevin Durant type dudes.
Yes. Listen, in my opinion, there's two ways I could see this. If Victor puts up LeBron, listen, I said this to you before. I said LeBron James averaged 25 and 5, which only 4 other players did in their rookie year, and they actually ended up winning rookie.
I think he could do that.
But here's the crazy thing: they won only 35 games, and they missed the playoffs.
You know what?
Melo averaged the same amount of points, but had 1 more rebound and 1 less assist, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah, but think about it. LeBron came from high school, and Victor's coming from France. He's been playing in the professional league, winning championships already. And Jeremy, I don't know how you say his last name.
Jeremy Sochan, or whatever his name is.
They were teammates in France.
That's crazy.
You didn't know that?
One speculation I think that might come into place, his career could turn into like Yao Ming. A lot of people don't understand the context behind that. Yao Ming was a 7'6" guy, and he was a dominant for a few years, but then he was riddled with injuries, and he only lasted 8 years.
Yeah, but think about like the difference between them. Have you seen him like stretching, Victor?
No, actually.
Really, dude, he could do a split. He could do a
crazy.
split like at 7'3".
All right, so in my opinion, if he averages 22, 9, and 5, and maybe that can be a reach for them to make the play-in, but in my opinion, there are teams that I think are much better than them. In my opinion, I do have them better than 3 other teams.
I can see where you're coming from, though. I kind of agree with you now that I think about it, and
yeah,
like,
see? Like, let me ask you a question. Are they better than Memphis?
No.
Are they better than OKC?
It's like debatable. I don't think so.
Are they better than New Orleans?
Possibly.
When Zion's healthy.
It's 50-50. I think you have. Let's run through your list. Through your list.
All right. So we're actually gonna move into the East now. So we'll go back to the West in a little bit with a couple more teams. So in the East, one I think team that I'll discuss real quick, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Dysfunctional as hell.
They are dysfunctional, man. I gotta say,
Harden's gonna leave.
Okay. Let me give you some background for Harden, in my opinion. He liked when he was in Philly. Like, he actually played pretty good in Philly. But here's the question. Why would you go to Philly when you know that Daryl Morey is there? And then after the season, you say to the people, including when you were at a basketball camp, that he's a straight-up liar.
Yeah, he said, I will never be part of an NBA franchise
But,
with
like,
him.
Why would you do something like that? I get it that you want to play with the reigning MVP. I get that. But what's more important to you, the front office or playing basketball? If he was just in the mental state of playing basketball, then this would be no problem. But right now in the NBA, in my opinion, we're getting to the point where the star player only wants to be satisfied if everything around him goes their way.
That's true. That's KD too.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
I mean, even Harden. But
all
exceptions,
the three dudes from the Nets.
Exactly.
The three dudes.
Exceptions would be Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard's time was done. Chris Paul, basically. I mean, I wouldn't say Chris Paul really, because Chris Paul, he originally said he wanted to leave Oklahoma City when he got traded there. But look what happened. They made the playoffs and everything. But this is basically saying to James Harden, like, if you don't do something with Daryl Morey, I am not coming. And this isn't the first time that something that has happened like this. Ben Simmons. I get it. A lot of people have mental problems and everything. But I'll just say this as a funny context. If you get involved with the Kardashians or the Jenners, something bad will happen to you. It's true. It's true.
What about Devin Booker?
Devin Booker, well, actually, when he was dating one of the Jenners, I forget who it was, he actually was, his production actually dipped. It actually did. Yeah, so. But another team I actually want to get into. Oh, by the way, so for me personally, I have them as a plan for right now, only because.
The 76ers?
I do. Because.
I can see it. If James Harden decides to play, if he decides to
easily
try.
they'll be a document team. But
yeah.
Right now, I have them as a plan, only because of the James Harden situation. So, but one team that I think I really want to get into is the Orlando Magic. I would probably say they are the Oklahoma City Thunder of the Eastern Conference.
Who's on the Magic right now?
Cole Anthony, Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner.
Oh, yeah, that's a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, they're probably one of the youngest teams in the Eastern Conference.
I don't think they're as good as the OKC, though.
I'm comparing, like, on how young and everything they are.
True, but they need a lot of development. Cole Anthony, after that dunk contest performance.
Yeah.
Yo, he needs to apologize for that.
That is true. But in addition to that, I do have them as a playing team, only because I think this is their year.
Well, who do you have as takeoff then?
Oh, for takeoffs for me? So my takeoff teams are Toronto, Chicago, Detroit, Charlotte, and Washington. I would be very surprised if Toronto.
I would switch the Raptors and the Magic. Yeah.
Here's my take for Toronto. You're getting a first-year head coach. You don't know what direction to take, so you're just going to play it out. That's really the best. That's really the best option.
It's true.
So if they are 10 games out if they're 10 games under 500 and whatnot, blow it up. Siakam still has his value. OG Anunoby still has his value. Build around Scotty Barnes. They do have the players to give away. They also have an inexperienced head coach. And in my opinion, I think their time ran out after they lost in the first round a couple years back. So that's why I have them.
All right.
Chicago, same thing. They really should have blown this team last year. But in my opinion,
I think Chicago playing Zach LaVine, Kyle Lowry, DeMar
Kyle Lowry
DeRozan.
is on the Miami Heat.
Oh, I'm bugging.
You're thinking
DeMar DeRozan.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I do agree, but I mean, let me ask you a question. Who's better, Toronto? Let me ask you a question. Who's better, Chicago or Brooklyn?
Chicago.
Okay. So, but well, look how they were last year. I mean, if it's the same team but they're just a year older, wouldn't it just be the same result basically? So that's why I have them taking off. And then obviously you have the Pistons, the Hornets, and the Wizards. Listen, I'm making a crazy prediction. I think Jordan Poole is really just going to shoot the lights out, and I think he's going to lead the league in scoring.
Lead the league in scoring.
Like, it might.
Actually, you know what? It is possible because who's going to stop him?
Well, last night he scored 41 points in 27 minutes.
I saw that.
That was crazy.
Like, because now he has free reign to do whatever he wants on the Wizards because no one's going to tell him no.
So,
You want to get into the awards?
So one more. So I'm actually gonna do two more teams real quick. So one team that is also another big what if. Well, actually three. I'll give you three teams, and then you can tell me if they're playing, takeoff, or document. The Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, and the LA Clippers.
I don't know about the Clippers. Clippers down. Warriors and the Kings. Dude, the Kings recently, they've
Like
been
the Bean Baby, like the Bean.
De'Aaron Fox, man.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is a dog. He won MIP last year, right?
He did not. He
Oh
actually.
no, he won Clutch Player of the Year.
He
That's
did.
what he did.
He was the runner-up for most improved. I think twice actually.
Dude, he's a dog. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
I love watching him.
So I actually have the Clippers as a play-in, only because you don't know what you're gonna get from PG and Kawhi. You can have them both play 70 games, and they could be the top seed in the West.
It's just you're not gonna get them together enough.
Exactly.
To be.
You have no idea on what the heck you're gonna get from Westbrook, even though I really think his production is gonna dwindle more. It's just that simple, really. Golden State. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the Golden State Warriors for 1 minute.
You think they have another chip in them?
If they had the size, I would say yes.
I think they need one more.
I'm going to say something. The front office for the Golden State Warriors on bringing in Chris Paul has to be the stupidest idea ever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So if
Chris Paul's how
our
old?
opening night, supposedly our opening night projection, it's going to be, if Draymond does not come back, it's going to be Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevon Looney. No one there is taller than 6'9". How?
They got to run Kuminga as like a center.
Like, I don't get it. Yes, small ball was big back then, but we can't do it anymore.
What are they going to do against Wembanyama?
I have no idea.
He's going to run
I
right
would be
through
astounded
them.
if Draymond gets a block against him.
What are they going to do as Giannis? Jokic?
I don't know. Well, I mean, with Jokic,
Davis.
they put Draymond on him, and what they did was they actually pressured him a
because
lot.
Jokic is slow.
Yes. But the Warriors play fast-paced. I get it. Chris Paul, he's a type of leader. We already have a leader.
Yeah, you have.
It's Draymond. As much as I love and hate him,
I
like to call him as my frenemy because I hate the guy, but I also love him. I hate him as a personal standpoint, and I love him as a player.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just insane. Like, we couldn't get Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes. This was a center. This was a center-type free agency, and we got none. Like, seriously? Like, come on. I would be astounded if we actually finished as a top 4 team. I mean, I actually have them as a document team only because of the experience and also because the players that we have on the team, and especially with Chris Paul's help, I do believe that we are a top 6 team. But, I mean, if things go awry, which in my opinion I think they will, I'm making a bold prediction. I'm going to say if things don't work out in the first 15 games, I think Chris Paul is going to get waived.
Probably. I could see it.
I'm serious.
I could see it.
Like, if we start out like,
I don't know what they were thinking.
if we start off like
Jordan Poole.
6, if we start off like, I don't know. I'll go through the first 20. So if we go like 6-14 to start, I'd say bye-bye, Chris Paul. You haven't helped us. And let's just go get a center.
I don't know why they needed him. He's a playmaker. You have Draymond.
Exactly.
And Curry.
Exactly. Well, Curry's more the facilitator. He basically just passes it out to Draymond, and then Draymond runs the plays. So one more team, of course, is Sacramento. I actually had them as a document team. I was extremely surprised by them last year.
Yeah.
Also, crazy thing also, I actually just realized this. They are also one of the deepest teams in the league as far as bench production. I think in this upcoming season and the next few years, the benching production is going to be the biggest key. If you do not have a bench and you're playing guys that are playing 40 to 45 minutes, their durability is gonna.
I think that's why the Grizzlies are so good. I don't know if you know the Grizzlies roster, but if you notice,
when Ja got hurt last year,
people hate on Ja because they're like, oh, the Grizzlies do good when he's not on the floor. It's just because it's such a good, well-rounded team.
Yeah, weren't they like 25-4 when he was hurt?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
something like that because they have do you know Santi Aldama? Like that guy is a dog. He's like
Yeah.
he's like the ninth man.
Okay, so this was the segment known as Document, Play It, and Take Off. So right now we're gonna get into our final segment of the night, and it's probably one of the biggest debates that everybody has. It is the awards for the NBA this year. So, Nick, I'll actually have you run through yours, and then I'll go through mine. So, who do you have as your MVP?
Jokic, 100%. It's Jokic or Giannis. I don't think Joel Embiid deserved it last year. I think it should have been a three-peat for Jokic.
Okay.
Because they gave it to him because of voter fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because people didn't want to vote. Because Jokic is not flashy or anything. No one likes to watch him. But if you look at the stats, I mean, no one else has done that before. And then, all right.
So, who's your sleeper for MVP?
Sleeper for MVP? Oh my, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
You know what? That's a really good one. I mean, in my opinion, I think he should have won Most Improved last year. The guy put up. I know his points increased just a little bit. The guy averaged 30, was almost led the league in points.
People
and he led them to a 40-win record. Like, nobody expected the Thunder to be in the play-in last year. Like, they're way ahead of schedule.
And then also, oh my God, who was I gonna say? Oh yeah, last year at the beginning, Donovan Mitchell was he was a front runner for MVP at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he's gonna get it, but he cooks. He amazing.
Yeah. All right, so we're actually gonna get into. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say Jaren Jackson.
I have him too. So now I'm also going to give you another one. Who's your Coach of the Year?
Coach of the Year? The thing is, I don't know coaches like that.
So I'll give you a couple because I actually wrote a couple down. So you have Frank Vogel, Mark Daringhout, who's the coach for the Thunder, Tom Thibodeau, Willie Green, J.P. Bickerstaff. You have Darvin Ham of the Lakers. You have Adrian Griffin of the Bucks. You also have Steve Kerr, obviously.
I don't think Steve Kerr is gonna get it.
I would be astounded if he is.
I think if the OKC really kills it this year, because they have a great roster. They have a deep. They have bench starters. If they could do it, I think the coach deserves.
I agree. You want to hear an interesting fact? Do you know that there's only been one coach in NBA history that has won Coach of the Year and they missed the playoffs? You know who that was? Doc Rivers.
Makes sense.
And it was in his first year.
Don't people not like him?
So the crazy thing is that he's, in my opinion, I think he's a great coach.
People say he's a bad coach.
The guy played and he has a lot of experience, and he coached the Celtics and to the finals and everything. So who do you have for Rookie of the Year?
Like, I could just be generic and say Victor, but I really want Chet Holmgren to win it.
Okay.
Because, like, dude, I'm like I was so excited to see him play last year, and then he got injured by LeBron, which honestly is a really bad sign, because he got like shouldered by LeBron while taking a charge.
Who do you have as your sleeper?
I like Brandon Miller.
Okay.
And
so he's also my pick.
Scoot is good, but I don't think he's gonna get it because the Blazers aren't gonna do good.
I disagree with that. I think, in my opinion, their ceiling, they could be a playing team. They are a very good rounded team.
They have what? Anthony Simons.
They have Anthony Simons, Sheldon Sharp. They have DeAndre Ayton. They have Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon. That's a good.
That's not bad.
That's a low-seeded good team. Like, they got great assets back, including when they traded Drew Holiday. So, the other one is going to be Most Improved Player. Who do you have for that?
I gotta see. I wish my guy Desmond Bane could have won it once, but now he's like good. Everyone knows he's good. Yeah. Who's a dog that deserves this?
Who deserves this?
Yeah. Who do you think?
So I actually have two. So one is actually going to be who did I? Oh, Scotty Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. In my opinion, Scotty Barnes, if Siakam gets traded, which I think will happen, and he puts up 23-5, or he increases his production in assists and rebounding by 3 or 4, I think he can win it. Now listen, it's a rarity when players who win Most Improved make the playoffs. Usually players who win Most Improved usually miss the playoffs. Lauri Markkanen did. Siakam. Who
He's
else?
coming back now, right, Lauri?
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen, but Markkanen already won it. There's a couple of other guys, like CJ McCollum, for example. He won it also. Brandon Ingram, they missed the playoffs too. So that's gonna trend. That's gonna trend like up and downwards. But my sleeper is actually going to be Franz Wagner. So a lot of people think that Boncaro is going to lead the team in scoring.
Boncaro would be a good
Most improved candidate? I don't think so because
he's been doing good. He put like
good
18
numbers last
right?
season.
Something around there.
The only way he would do most improved is if he averaged like 27,
if he went like
10,
crazy.
and like 6. So the reason why I did Franz Wagner as my sleeper is because I did that if he is the leading scorer for the team and he increases his rebounding and assists by a couple and leads them into the play-in, I think he can win it. So I'm going to get into my takes real quick for MVP and all that. My MVP, I'm going to go with Jokic, obviously. I think he's going to average a triple-double, and they're going to win first in the West. Rookie of the Year, I'm actually going to go with Victor, only because I think it's just the easy choice.
All right, who's your sleeper, though?
My sleeper, I'm going to go with Brandon Miller.
Oh, yeah.
If he puts up 18, 7, and 4, and he leads them into the play-in, I could definitely see that. Most improved, like I just said, either Scotty Barnes or Franz Wagner. My coach of the year, I actually have Frank Vogel, only because
what team is that?
It's going to be Phoenix. But I forgot one team. I forgot one coach, Mike Brown. He should have won it. Oh no, he did win it. I'm sorry, he did win it last year. He could win it again this year, in my opinion, which I think is a legit shot. If they win 50 or more games, he could probably win it back-to-back. And my defensive player of the year is Jaren Jackson Jr. I believe that he could lead the league in rebounding and blocks.
It's true, but he also has Marcus Smart now.
That's true, but
Who
Marcus
is
Smart's more a defensive. He's only going to do it in steals. My sleeper, and you were discussing this before we started, Anthony Davis has a good shot. I know you said, like, that's crazy. If he plays 70 more games, if he leads the league in rebounding and blocks, he has a very good shot.
He could if only he played at least 70 games. But
that's true.
I'll place a bet on Prize Picks that he plays less than 60.
So, one last thing before we sign off. I'm going to do what teams I think are going to be most improved and what teams are going to be least improved. So, one of the teams that I think are going to be most improved are going to be the Orlando Magic, as far as win-loss record. I think they have a legit shot to make the playoffs this year. Also, the Indiana Pacers has a good candidate, only because you don't know what you're going to get from other teams in the bottom feeders. You also don't know what you're going to get from Brooklyn. So that's why I have them as my most improved. My least improved team, I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets. Like I said, they're both going to miss the playoffs in my opinion.
I could see it.
Now, as far as for the West, obviously it's going to be Oklahoma City Thunder. I actually think they're going to win 48 games in my opinion. So that would be my most improved team. Another team, how about the Portland Trail Blazers? If they have a legit shot to finish at 500 and make the play-in
They
spot.
could.
Now, my least improved teams are going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves and Utah Jazz. I think the Jazz are going to dip a lot. They shocked a heck of a lot of people. They actually, even at one point during the season, they were actually first in the West. But this is like early mid-2000s, like Western Conference we're looking at. So it's going to be a dogfight. I don't see the Jazz winning a lot games this year. Same thing goes for Minnesota. I think they're going to be least improved only because from what they were last year and also because the West got a lot better. I don't think the production is going to be there